So we're out here today. We're going to try the same method as we tried last time, which is 2 split shots, a hook and a few worms. And this time the only difference is we're not going to try the small streams, we're going to try the canal again. Practically ledgering in the canal here at the moment. Yeah, we'll see how we get on. If it gets too weedy, I suppose we'll make the decision if we go to a float or not, but we have a few worms in anyway, so it'd be rude not to give it a try. Let's do our best here today. Up at the canal, we've got a few bottom feeders here. Hopefully they're kicking up a bit of muck. This is why I like this type of fishing. Less movement, less issues. Just need bait and a flow, couple of weights, just the bare essentials. And we might have people come through, or people, even a shoal of fish maybe would be better than people. Gonna just look for a little bit of a clearing. Yeah, so I've just climbed up on top of this rock, and I'm not sure if you can see, but this part of the canal is quite overgrown. Everything is grown up to the level of the water. I find it tough to find fish within that, unless we're going to pull a rake. So I think we're going to find a little bit more structure. Yeah, maybe at the bridge here. We'll go up to this lock here now, see what we can find around. As I was saying, things aren't really too productive. Might throw a float on because I'm here to enjoy the fishing, and sitting there watching a flow might be boring sometimes. Most of the time it's actually really relaxing. It's a chance you get to fish, just appreciate what's around you, I suppose. So I'm going to drop this one in just up off the lock here, and we'll go from there. We're just going to chill out here. We're going to drop it down around the bank, hold the rod there just in case we feel anything twitching. Hopefully we'll be able to pick something up out of the canal. Just throwing a turn or two on the reel every now and again, just to keep her dragging. Hopefully find something now sitting down that bottom. Oh, we have a snag. Well, didn't take our bait. That's a good thing. Yeah, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to walk the verge on the opposite side. Most of the foot traffic comes from this side, from the right side, as we're walking down. So I would say any of the fish that usually sit along those sides are probably on the opposite most of the day. Yeah, the sun is behind us that side as well. It can be a good thing and a bad thing, but they're definitely seeing our shadows. We tend to like to wear clothes that suit the sky, so in Ireland you probably get away with white and more likely. But yeah, we're just going to find a nice little area in front of us here. I think this is perfect, and we're just going to set up a float now. Right, so we're going to swap to a float rig. The good thing about these shots is the bigger ones, you get them open, keep them, throw them back in your box then, and it's easier for us to set up a float now because we take these few worms off and we'll be able to actually run the float up and over that hook without having to actually take the line apart at all. So it's always a good tip. Yeah, so we just have a small 4BB waggler. As I said, we're going to cheat the system and just poke it through the eye of the float, pull it through, and we're on. If the eye of the float doesn't always work, you can actually use a bigger hook to widen it if you need to. Sometimes it's just easier to actually retie, but in this case I'm just going for convenience. So the way we normally do it is, I normally like to take a slightly smaller size and put it up here beside the weight, pinch her on, then on an equal distance drop another one. I didn't mean to physically drop one, but sure, look. So similar distance, we're going to drop another. All in all, I'll probably have about 3 or 4 foot of line at the end. I like to work from the bottom up because it means you just have to spool out what you need. So we're on 2. And the last 2 I tend to put up closer to the end of the float. Now obviously you always want to check it, the worms we're using are small enough, so sometimes that can be an impact of the weight of the worm. You may need less BBs, you may need more. Best thing to do is just test it. So we're going to test it with no bait. Make sure she's sitting and floating. Yep, perfect. Couldn't have got it any better. So we're happy enough, we're ready to go. So we're going to bait up and go for it. I suppose I've been fishing since I was maybe 8 or 9. Never had anyone really kind of teach me the basics. remember I got a book with the fishing rod and bought down at the local shop, like the supermarket. Crap quality, but gave us enough to learn how to do it blood and all. And from that we kind of figured it out. When the internet started to come by, I suppose it was a lot easier to find the information and we had to pick up a few tips and tricks, but I've always gone back to the same stuff, always the same basics. Simple and happy life. Got a nice float out there now. Let's just hope we get what we're after. The best thing about this style of fishing is you just drop the rod, watch the flow. Everything else happens. I suppose when I come out flow fishing, I'm not as expecting to catch something. Often you have to bait up an area, and it's very rare that you can just show up. And it does happen all the time, playing with them worms on the bottom with the drop shots and so on. But for now, I just kind of feel like an easy session today, and we go from there. So we're going with the original plan, which is make our way down to the tree, fish off the tree. We do have some bread, so I'm going to throw in a bit of bread, see if we can get a bit of action to go with it, and sure, we'll go from there. At the minute now things are going a bit slow, so we're just going to take a few balls of bread and throw them in. Yeah, good thing to bring a piece of bread with it, especially if you're going to go bait fishing. All else fails, look, it's a cheap bait, and you know, you end up catching a few. I think bread is a good one to have around the canal because people tend to throw it in for the ducks and swans, so I think it's something that they're probably familiar with. So let's just hope throw a few bits out there and cause enough of a frenzy that they want to start eating. If we notice a few bites, happy days. If not, we'll try a bit of bread. But yeah, I reckon once we try the bread, if we've got no joy, we're not going to stay out much longer today. Today was just get out. I had an hour to spare, didn't want too much to do fishing, so we went with the flow. We did try the ledger that we had stuck on, but that's only because it was on from the other day, more so than anything else. So I've got a bit of bread out there at the moment. We still have some worms here, so I'm going to find a few and we're going to put a few fresh worms on. Yeah, he's fresh enough. We'll still moving away, and anyway, just give him a friend. Sure, it can get lonely down there. This is why I like this type of fishing. Less movement, less issues. Just need bait and a flow, couple of weights, just the bare essentials. As I said, the expectations are normally a lot lower when we're coming out with a flow, just because I know you need to put time into it. Bring it back in, throw it back out. Simple as that. A little bit further this time, see if there's anything out on the outside of the shelf. Right, so probably been here for about 20 minutes to half an hour, so I think we're going to make tricks, start making our way home. So we're actually decided we're going to go with a paddle tail. So we've picked green with sparkles in it, and basically what we do is we measure the hook length in and around where you want the point to come out, up through the nose, halfway through the body to where your fingers are pinched, and thread it up and through. Now, we should be all good to go. The thing with the float is, I suppose, the fish have to find you. The thing with something like this is you have a better chance of finding the fish. Alright bud, you could have told me there was nothing in there, but sure, look, we'll move on. This is the part, I'm telling you, without doubt, you'd always catch a jack, always catch a perch. As of late, catch nothing but weird. I hate to prove my own point, like confirmation bias. This is the problem we're having now with the canals. My understanding of plant science is they're taking all the carbon dioxide during the day which means you have to pull it from somewhere. It's pulling it from the air more than likely, which means there's less oxygen in the water for the fish during the day. Now the opposite side, also the plants release oxygen, but that's only at night time when there's no light, no photosynthesis going on. I don't know, I kind of feel like for the expansive water that I'm looking at, for the fish I used to see, even the shoals just sitting on the top just seem to be gone. So I think further trekking is probably going to be required, and just figuring out where's a good spot along the canal to go. We've always fished canals, but they've never been as bad as they have been the last 2 years. So kind of getting fed up here with the shad, and I was considering putting a spinner on, but the more we're walking down the canal, the more weed I'm seeing on the top of it. I just think a spinner with the treble hooks is just going to be a nightmare. I think I'll be pulling things off. I think staying with the shad, regardless of the outcome, is probably the best bet, and we'll finish the day off strongly or poorly. Can't always catch a fish, I suppose, but we're out here trying, and sure, look, we're out in the fresh air and everything, so that's a win in itself.
I think the next time we're walking the canal, we'll definitely try further down this side or much further up the other end. Yeah, for now we're not done fishing, but we're done for now anyway.